The Ferrari F430 is a sports car produced by the Italian automaker Ferrari from 2004 to 2009. A successor to the Ferrari 360, it debuted at the 2004 Paris Motor Show. Its replacement, the Ferrari 458, was unveiled on July 28, 2009. Overview: the MSRP for a Ferrari F430 was $186,925 to $217,318 in the United States, £119,500 in the United Kingdom, approximately $175,000 in the European Union, and $379,000 for the base model to $450,000 for the Spider F1 in Australia and New Zealand. Design: the body styling of the F430 was revised from its predecessor, the Ferrari 360, to improve its aerodynamic efficiency. Although the drag coefficient remained the same, downforce was greatly enhanced. Despite sharing the same basic Alco aluminium chassis, roofline, doors and glass, the car looked significantly different from the 360. A great deal of Ferrari heritage was included in the exterior design. At the rear, the Enzo's tail lights and interior vents were added. The car's name was etched into the Testarossa-style driver's side mirror. The large oval openings in the front bumper are reminiscent of Ferrari racing models from the 60s, specifically the 156 Sharknose Formula One car and 250 TR61 Le Mans cars of Phil Hill. Designed with soft-top convertible engine, the F430 features a 4.3L V8 gas engine derived from a shared Ferrari-Maserati design. This new power plant was a significant departure for Ferrari, as all previous Ferrari V8s were descendants of the Dino racing program of the 1950s. This 50-year development cycle came to an end with the entirely new 4.3L, the architecture of which is expected to replace the Dino-derived V12 and most other Ferrari cars. The engine's output specifications are 490 PS at 8500 RPMs and 465 Nm of torque at 5250 RPMs, 80% of which is available below 3500 RPMs. Despite a 20% increase in displacement, engine weight grew by only 4 kg and engine dimensions were decreased, for easier packaging. The connecting rods, pistons and crankshaft were all entirely new, while the 4-valve cylinder head, valves and intake trumpets were copied directly from Formula One engines, for ideal volumetric efficiency. The F430 has a top speed of 196 mph and can accelerate from 0 to 62 mph in 4.4 seconds, 0.3 seconds quicker than the old model. Brakes: the brakes on the F430 were designed in close cooperation with Brembo and Bosch, resulting in a new cast iron alloy for the discs. The new alloy includes molybdenum, which has better heat dissipation performance. The F430 was also available with the optional carbon fiber reinforced silicon carbide ceramic composite brake package. Ferrari claims the carbon ceramic brakes will not fade even after 300 to 360 laps at their test track. Features: the F430 featured the e-diff, a computer-controlled limited-slip active differential which can vary the distribution of torque based on inputs such as steering angle and lateral acceleration. Other notable features include the first application of Ferrari's Monetino steering wheel-mounted control knob. Drivers can select from 5 different settings which modify the vehicle's ESC system: Skyhook electronic suspension, transmission behavior, throttle response, and e-diff. A feature is similar to Land Rover's terrain response system. The Ferrari F430 was also released with exclusive Goodyear Eagle F1 GSD3 and tires, which have a V-shaped tread design, run-flat capability, and one-to technology. In the US, the company requested an exemption from the airbag design requirements, which was eventually granted, allowing the car to continue to be sold in the US. Variants: F430 Spider. The F430 Spider is the convertible version based on the Cooper copyright. The F430 Spider is Ferrari's 21st road-going convertible. The Ferrari F430 Spider made its world premiere at the Geneva Motor Show. The car was designed by Pininfarina with aerodynamic simulation programs also used for Formula One cars. The roof panel automatically folds away inside a space above the engine bay. The conversion from a closed-top to an open-air convertible is a two-stage folding action. The interior of the Spider is identical to that of the Cooper copyright. F430 Challenge. The F430 Challenge is the track version of the F430, designed for the Ferrari Challenge. The engine remained untouched but the vehicle's weight was reduced, resulting in a top speed of 202 mph. The production model was unveiled at the Los Angeles Auto Show in January 2005. 430 Scuderia. Serving as the successor to the Challenge Stradale, the 430 Scuderia was unveiled by Michael Schumacher at the 2007 Frankfurt Auto Show. Aimed to compete with cars like the Porsche S models and the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, it is lighter and more powerful at 8,500 RPMs than the standard F430. Increased power comes from a revised intake, exhaust, and an ion-sensing knock detection system that allows for a higher compression ratio. Thus the weight-to-power ratio is reduced from 2.96 kg per horsepower to 2.5 kg per horsepower. In addition to the weight-saving measures, the Scuderia semi-automatic transmission gained improved Superfast, known as Superfast 2, software for faster 60-millisecond shift times. A new traction control system combined the F1 traction and stability control with the eDiff electronic differential. The Ferrari 430 Scuderia accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 3.6 seconds, with a top speed of 202 miles per hour. Ferrari claims that around their test track, Fiorano circuit, it matches the Ferrari Enzo, and the Ferrari F430's successor, the Ferrari 458. Scuderia Spider 16M. To commemorate Ferrari's 16th victory in the Formula One Constructors' World Championship in 2008, Ferrari unveiled the Scuderia Spider 16M at World Finals in Mugello. It is a convertible version of the 430 Scuderia. The engine produces 510 PS at 8,500 RPMs and 470 Nm torque at 5,250 RPMs. The car has a dry weight of 1,340 kg and a cobe weight of 1,440 kg. It accelerates from 0-100 km per hour in 3.7 seconds, with a top speed of 315 km per hour. 499 vehicles were released beginning early 2009. F430 Spider Biofuel, a version of the F430 Spider that runs on ethanol, called the F430 Spider Biofuel, was on display at the 2008 Detroit Auto Show. It contained the same 4.3-liter V8 engine, producing 500 HP, with a 4% increase in torque, with 5% less carbon dioxide emissions than the standard F430 Spider. SP1, the F430-based Ferrari SP1, was the first one-off special produced by the Ferrari Portfolio program. The body was designed by former Pininfarina designer Leonardo Fioravanti, at the behest of Junichiro Hiramatsu, a Japanese businessman who was the former president of the Ferrari Club of Japan and an avid collector. He had admired Fioravanti's 1998 F100 prototype. Racing, F430 GTC. Built since 2006 by Ferrari Course Clienti Department in collaboration with Michelotto Automobili, the F430 GTC is a racing car designed to compete in international GT2 class competition, such as in the American Le Mans Series, and FIA GT Championship. F430 GTCs also compete at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The GTC was the fastest and most developed racing version of the F430. In FIA GT2 Championship, in order to render the car performances more uniform, the cars are forced to run with a specific minimum weight and with an engine restrictor that depends on the engine displacement. Hence the 4.3L V8 engine in GT2 races is destroked to 4.0L in order to compete in the 3.8 to Euro 4.0L class, which is allowed to race with a minimum weight of 1,100 kg. Using the 4.3L engine, the minimum weight of the F430 would increase by 50 kg. In this race configuration, the engine produces somewhat less power, but this is compensated by the lower car weight, which yields a better power-to-weight ratio. The F430 GTCs won their class championships in the ALMS and FIA GT, as well as scoring class wins at the 2007, 2009 and 2010 12 Hours of Sebring, at the 2008 and 2009 24 Hours of Le Mans and at the 2008 and 2009 Petit Le Mans. F430 GT3, originally based on the F430 Challenge, the F430 GT3 is a specialized racing car developed in 2006 by JMB Racing for the FIA GT3 European Championship and other national GT championships such as British GT and FFSA GT. It is mechanically similar to the F430 Challenge, but has better developed aerodynamics and more power. The car uses the same 4.3L V8 engine, tuned to produce 550 HP, making the GT3 more powerful than its GT2 counterpart. However, due to the GT3 regulations stating that the car must have a power-to-weight ratio of around 2.6 kg per horsepower, the car weighs 1,219 kg in race trim, which is roughly 119 kg more than the GT2 spec car. Despite the higher power, it is significantly slower than the GT2 version. For example, in the 2007 Spa 24 Hours endurance race, in which both models were entered, the GT3 spec vehicle's best qualification time was around 8 seconds slower per lap than that set by the GT2 spec vehicle. Since 2007, a technical partnership between Kessel Racing and JMB brought the production of an Evolution kit. The F430 GT3 won the driver's title in the 2007 FIA GT3 European Championship season. 430 GT3 Scuderia, developed by Kessel Racing for the 2009 season, the 430 GT3 Scuderia is the successor of the previous F430 GT3. Recall: in February 2009, Ferrari recalled about 2,000-2,005 Euro 2007 F430 Spiders in the US, due to the risk that heat from the engine could cause the soft-top hydraulic hoses to fracture and leak flammable fluid onto the V8 motor, resulting in a fire. References, Notes. Bibliography. External links: Ferrari F430 prices, Ferrari website, Ferrari F430 on Edmunds.com, Ferrari F430 GT serial number on Endurance Series, Ferrari F430.